And dig into us, will you, the impact of what they're trying to do is cut costs here. How much of that is going to be helped by the job cuts?
So Fitbit said they wanted to reduce operating expenses in 2017 by $200 million. Now they're eliminating 6% of the workforce, and if you run through the math, that's just a relatively small proportion of that $200 million. So it's likely that the rest of the cost cuts will come from sales and marketing expenses, which are pretty high, as well as perhaps paring back their R&D expenses. Another interesting thing, though, that was buried in this long announcement was that they want to reset performance incentives to retain employees. And with that, they said that CEO James Park and the CTO are both going to be reducing their salary to $1. So that will probably also have somewhat of an impact on the operating expenses for 2017.
Certainly will. The work coming cheap. But Selena, we actually spoke to James Park a little bit back ago at the CES. And what's so odd is he sounded so optimistic. Have a listen.
Our preference is to compete and win in the marketplace, and I think our numbers clearly show that. We're number one in, again, almost every country that we're competing in.
Big talk, how it seems that they're having to unwind that at the moment. Is this a Fitbit problem? Is this a wearables problem?
Not surprised he was talking the big talk at CES, but yes, you're right. This is not just a Fitbit problem. This is definitely a secular decline. The global fitness band has experienced a slowdown recently, and we've seen companies from Jawbone, Pebble, Microsoft, Nike, they've all really struggled to gain traction in this fitness band market. Fitbit is still the market leader in this industry. They are, as you mentioned earlier, facing increasing competition from the high cost end from Apple and also from the lower cost end from the Chinese manufacturers. And we saw from last quarter that they really struggled to gain traction in China. This is a big market for them, but they haven't really hit the spot there. Asia Pacific has definitely struggled with declining sales. Another big problem is that just overall wearables really haven't found its niche, its must-have reason for everybody to have it. It's really kind of become relegated to this gadget category.
And Selena, they have been trying to pull it other ways, perhaps, to make this more omnipresent. They're going into relationships with insurers. I mean, give us your idea of where they go from here. How can they salvage this?
James Park for years has been saying that he wants to turn Fitbit into more than just a gadget hardware company. They want to turn it into this digital software health company that works with the healthcare industry, even potentially selling them FDA-approved medical devices. They've made some headway into this goal. They have a corporate wellness program, but remember that's only about less than 10% of revenue. They've also been cutting other deals with players in the healthcare industry. But in the more immediate future, they need to execute on their strategy of diversifying their revenue stream. They are looking to expand into smartwatches. They've acquired startups like Coin, Pebble, and Vector, and the goal is to integrate some of those assets into their new product. I think that in the near term, it will probably still be very painful for Fitbit, though, because it does take a lot of time to develop the smartwatch.